If you want to check out what my favorite products have been for the month of August, then please keep on watching. Hello my friends, if it's your first time here, my name is Alicia. Thank you so much for coming. And if you are returning, thank you for coming again. Kinky Sweat stands for my kinky hair and sweat life. I am a fitness professional who loves everything movement and beauty. If you want to check out what I do on the daily between the makeups, you can head over to my Instagram and check out my daily movement musings. I made a list because every time the end of the month comes, I struggle with gathering products that I've used because I forgot what I bought that month. It's terrible. I'm embarrassed. Let's quickly get into it. The first product I want to present is... no, that's not true. I've used Chantecaille before, but not extensively. And as you know, Michelle Wong has a lot of videos on Chantecaille, and her most recent PR haul was so touching. A huge congratulations to her. I have to text her and give her all the heart and kiss emojis because I know how she feels when a brand recognizes your efforts and hard work when you've been in the game for a long time and you expect to not get sent products from a favorite brand of yours and they send it. You get overwhelmed, and it's so... yeah, I was so happy. I am still so happy for her. So if you want more details or just more videos on Chantecaille makeup, definitely check her out. She recently just uploaded her Chantecaille Fall 2019 collection where she does swatches for all the individual shadows. And they look gorgeous. Too bad I don't have that Chantecaille budget, but I did get their very expensive bronzer. This bronzer I saw on, again, Michelle's channel, and I was intrigued. And I also was told by several of you how beautiful it is. And let me tell you, this bronzer is a gelée type of formula, so I feel it's very user-friendly because of that. It's very hard in the pan, but it picks up well with the brush. Today I used my Sonuji, brushed it on to the hollows of my cheekbones, and it's so effortless in application. And I read on a Nordstrom review that it has shine and sparkle. I don't see it. Here it is swatched. I would say is more of a satin finish, and it does have a radiance to it, but there's no sparkle in here whatsoever. I'm not sure if that person used a brush that had leftover sparkle from another product and it got onto the pan, but this does not have any sparkle whatsoever. In fact, it leaves such a beautiful skin-like finish, natural looking. You can build this up without it not layering, without it looking textured on the skin. I mean, this pretty much reminds me of the OG Makeup Forever Pro Bronze Fusion. If you want to take a look at how this tone compares to the Makeup Forever, I believe this is 30M. This is 30M, so here is the Makeup Forever. The Makeup Forever appears a little more true brown, where the Goa has like that touch of red, which I feel is just so ideal for a bronzer to have. It creates that sun-kissed look, almost sunburnt, but we don't want to get burnt in real life. That's what makeup is for. Another comparison I want to make is with the Charlotte Tilbury Glowgasm face palette. This is in Lovegasm, the deeper of the two. Here is the bronzer shade, which is just like the Goa texture. And you see, this might be the lightest, or just lighter than Goa in general. It definitely has a little more of a rosy tint to it in comparison to the Goa, which is quite interesting. If you have the Lovegasm, you technically don't need the Goa. Well, we don't need any of these bronzers, but it's so hard with bronzer. You know, on this channel, I'm bronzer obsessed. This is a limited edition compact, so if you have limited edition FOMO, get it, because I don't know if it'll actually sell out. But the compact is red. It has like grooves on the lid. You have the compact that actually looks like the sun, and you have Chantecaille framed around the pan. I mean, this is just visually, the compact screams summer. Absolutely screams bronzer. And the powder itself is so absolutely gorgeous. I have this on my face, as you saw in the demo, and this tone is just unmatched. I don't have anything like it in my collection. Even with the swatches and their similarities, it still, I feel, stands alone in its own category in terms of the undertone it presents, and the texture is unmatched. I love gelée type textures for bronzers because it just allows more room for error. If you don't feel comfortable applying bronzer, I feel you could get away with mistakes with this type of formula because it's not like a powder, and it's not going to grab like a typical pressed powder would, because it's the gel to powder type of finish. So this is outstanding. It's very, very expensive. I mean, I'm just so upset with how expensive it is. I believe it's like $78. I don't have a lot of high-end bronzers. The only other bronzer high-end that I have is the Christian Dior, the Earth Nude something that I also really love. But I had to pick this up. I mean, it's outstanding in terms of the compact design, the finish it leaves on the skin, the shade. You gotta check it out. And while shopping on Nordstrom, I also decided to pick this one up. I believe this is from their Philanthropy series, where each shade, or blush rather, has an animal imprinted on the compact or on the pan, and depending on which one you buy, some of those profits go to the organization protected or that represents the animal in the compact. And I think the most recent fall release does kind of the same. They have the individual shadow pans with an animal on it, so it's really cool. I have Grace the Sea Turtle. This was described to be as an apricot type shade, and here in the demo you'll see that I apply it with the same Face Pro brush because it's very light. As you saw on the swatch, it doesn't pack a whole lot of punch, which I appreciate, especially if you like to apply blush on the apples of your cheeks. I wouldn't go in with a pigmented blush on the apples like, let's say, the one from Cover FX. That blush packs a punch. I will start higher on my face with that type of blush formula, but for this I feel is great if you like blush but you don't like a whole lot, but you need some flush color on the cheeks. I feel this is ideal, an ideal shade range. Actually, I think there might be 5 or 6 shades that are quite soft and easy to use. Anytime I see apricot in any shade description, I'm like, yes, I'm in. Apricot everything. $40 for this little, I know. Alicia, what are you doing? Even though it's so expensive for so little product, I just appreciate the fact that it is small and it makes it ideal for travel. So if there's one piece of silver lining with this purchase, it's that. Now, although I did not present this as a recommendation to buy in my Sephora summer bonus event video, I will still present it as a favorite because you know what? It is my favorite, and that's that. It is Mama Pat's foundation. Listen to me. I tried this month the Smashbox 24-hour high full coverage or whatever it's called, the new Urban Decay Naked Stay Naked Skin Foundation, the Dose of Colors Find Your Hue, Meet Your Hue, the Anastasia Luminous Foundation. I picked up the Fenty Hydration one, the newer one. I got samples of those. And I got Pat's. I tried a slew of foundations on this month. I tried some like 1 or 2 times, and then I went back to the other. I went back and forth a lot because I feel when evaluating foundations, you have to go back to the one you tried initially so you can have a better idea of what you like and you don't like. Now, initially, I did like the ABH. I thought the coverage was great. The shade match was nice. I did feel it heavy on my skin, like I had foundation on. And I don't know if it was because it had to dry down or I forgot about it, obviously, as it wore throughout the day. But initially, upon application, I felt like I had foundation on my face. The Find Your Hue from Dose of Colors I liked too. It pumps out a lot of product, whereas the Anastasia doesn't. And that's the first time I've ever, well, that's not true. I used 2 pumps with Pat's, but I had to use 2 pumps with the Luminous because it just doesn't dispense a lot of product on that first press, whereas the Dose of Colors just gets like a huge blob of product and that dries a little more matte. The reason I present Pat's foundation as a favorite for this month is because I know it's expensive and I know there's alcohol in it. I know, and I feel people think it's so expensive that why have alcohol in a product that's expensive? I mean, La Mer has mineral oil and petroleum in it, and I don't have anything against those ingredients, but they are cheaper ingredients. They're not expensive to resource and not expensive to put in products, but La Mer is still over like way in the 200s for their cream. It all has to do with the formulation and the process by which that formula undergoes to be what it needs to be. It's not the actual ingredient, and it's also where this product is being made. Is there a lot in cosmetic chemistry that I don't know about that I feel provides reasons for why something said product is so expensive despite it having cheaper like ingredients, right? My skin type right now is normal combination. I do have a lot of hyperpigmentation because I can't stop touching my face and I'm working on it. I always say that, but I am. I appreciate the natural finish it leaves. I appreciate that it's light to medium so I can build it up. And no matter how much I layer, because you see here in the demo that I apply a little more on my hyperpigmentation just so that it could get a little more coverage there. I love how it layers and I love how it lays on my skin. Yes, I get some lines here, but I don't really mind. I mean, that's just, look at my smile line, you know what I mean? So I feel that's pretty unavoidable no matter the foundation that I apply, but I just love how it sits on my skin. It looks like skin and it provides that coverage, and a lot of people, several, just don't want a lot of coverage on their face, and I get it. Not that I'm gonna stop using the ABH. I like the ABH too. I mean, I bought it. Ulta doesn't give samples, so I could have waited to get a sample from Sephora, but I was a little impatient, so I just bit the bullet and bought the whole bottle. I'll keep using this. I'll go back between the Pat and the ABH, but I really love the Pat foundation. This is an outstanding product. I mean, if it wasn't Pat McGrath, if it was something else and wasn't as expensive, I think people would be head over heels, because I think everyone, including myself, went in with the filter. They had high expectations because it's Pat, and we were just expecting, I don't know, sorcery. And when some didn't receive that, although the foundation I feel performed immaculately well, they felt it was okay and not worth the $68. And I get it. That's an extraordinary foundation. The fact that you can layer it and it still look like skin and still have a natural finish. I appreciate the fact that it doesn't have fragrance. Again, I layer a lot of skincare on my face before I go in with the foundation, so I feel the alcohol is not going to have a negative effect on my skin like on someone who might have eczema or who might have rosacea. Like, those skin conditions are to be considered in terms of that foundation not being applied on those types of skins, because they will get flare up from the alcohol, absolutely. But for me, I mean, I'm fine. And I use tretinoin, okay? And that also leads me to say that I really like the Pat powder. I wish it was cheaper. I absolutely agree with you. I feel it is too expensive for the amount of product that you get. $55 for not even 1 ounce is 0.17 ounces, 5 grams of product. It is ridiculous, but it is so beautiful. The way it just melts into my skin. I use a sponge to apply this powder on my skin after the Pat today. It just melts. It melts and it keeps the foundation on, and it just allows the foundation to wear beautifully throughout the day. I just love how it kind of melts into the skin and it just looks so radiant and beautiful as the day goes, and it doesn't look drab or dull on my skin. The price is ridiculous, but it's such a beautifully performing powder. I can't get over it. I love it for my face, but the tone is a little off for under my eyes. So although the under eyes look smooth when I apply the light medium 2, which is the shade that I have, the foundation shade, by the way, was medium 15. I apply my Hourglass translucent veil under my eyes. I just think it's a more suitable shade for me. The texture is great for the under eyes as well, but I much prefer the light medium 2 for my entire face. There's one con I would say about these powders is that the shades are off. To suggest that medium 3 is good for the medium 15, 17 sector in the liquid foundation is kind of crazy to me. I mean, I can't use that powder all over my face. It will make me look significantly warmer, which is okay if I wanted that, if I were tan, but I'm not. That's something I feel that's a little misleading. Also, it sucks that Pat McGrath Labs, the manufacturer or whatever, the warehouse, the shipping situation, I am so sorry, you guys. The fact that a lot of you waited crazy long and you paid expedited shipping, and to get your products after 2-3 weeks, it's just unacceptable. And I don't know what was going on in Pat McGrath headquarters, especially when they knew this launch was highly anticipated and everyone and their mom will be ordering on launch day. And to have those delays, Pat needs to, or whoever is in charge of that, needs to get new people or find somewhere else to ship out their products. Anyway, I love it. It's a favorite of mine. It has been all month. I don't care if it's expensive. I don't care if it has alcohol in it. I like it. So there. VISEART. I have actually the VISEART Grand Pro 1 matte on my eyes. I just applied the first row. I just applied the top row on my eyes. It's all matte. I use this beautiful beige shade as like my inner corner highlight and my brow bone highlight. You know, I always knew VISEART had outstanding products, and I always knew their mattes were just phenomenal. I didn't use them a lot because I was just distracted from the other eyeshadow releases that were happening, the color pops and the colored rains and everything else in between. And then I finally picked up their Milieu and their Koi from the buy this get this sale they had a week ago, and it was like falling in love all over again. And quickly to know, I made a post about this on my community board, and I pinned the comment as well under my Milieu and Koi video, that some of these have a dye in it. I believe is this one, that technically do not deem them eye safe. I don't really know the details about that, so I will further investigate and we could talk about it more below. The FDA does not approve some ingredients to be eye safe, but they can still be applied to the eyes. Now, keep in mind, the FDA is understaffed and behind on a lot of things. It's not that you should be afraid to put these on your eyes and expect that your eyeballs will explode. It's just a precaution. I'll actually try to find the Beauty Brains episode where they talk about the EU and just the differences between the EU and the FDA, and ultimately they lead to the same thing, which is, you know, whatever you apply to your face is gonna be fine. Back to VISEART. I'm sorry about that sidetrack. They are outstanding and I've been using them non-stop this month. I think the mattes again are just so easy to use, beyond smooth. They practically blend themselves. And I gotta say, using VISEART has just inspired me to buy less eyeshadow from other brands. I mean, with the exception of Pat and Natasha Denona, especially if Pat is coming out with a Mothership 6, that's what I heard. I'm gonna save for that. I'm gonna try to ignore everything else because you can only have so much eyeshadow. And if I'm gonna spend money on eyeshadow, I want it to be the best. And VISEART, without a doubt, has proven themselves time and time again that they are one of the best formulated eyeshadows out there on the market. They have the Petit PRO and the Edit palette. So basically the Edit that I don't have, unfortunately, the Edit palettes have the same design except they're smaller, almost like a business card size, and the pans are smaller, but I think that's great for the consumer to have an opportunity to experience VISEART shadows, a lot of their formulas, without dropping like $150 on one palette. The 12 pan palettes are $80, so you could get these on sale during the Sephora sale, but I will look into the Petit PRO or the Edits. I don't think the Edits are on sale, but a lot of their Petit PROs are. You get the matte and a beautiful metallic formula that I feel is just very easy to use, and an opportunity to dip your toes into VISEART but not spend a fortune on it initially. So definitely check those out. Michelle and Mel have videos on both those Edit palettes where they do different looks. I wanted to get the yellow and peach Petit PRO, the one with the purple and the other with the peach tones. 20% off, $30 isn't bad. Do I need it after I just purchased both Grand Pros? Probably not, but they're nice to travel with, you know what I mean? Anyway, definitely worth looking into and definitely have been a favorite of mine this month. And I have to mention Jackie's palette. I mean, she did a phenomenal job in creating this palette and choosing the shades, and it is designed for deeper skin tones, and it's nice for those individuals to have an eyeshadow palette that they don't have to dip back in 10 times for a shade to actually show up on their lids. These are saturated, but I feel they would work for lighter tones too. You just don't have to go in ham on the first brush punch, you know what I mean? Go in light, blend it out, and you'll be fine. And you have a wide range of shades to go from neutral to fun to in between. My review video has 4 looks there. I have a beginner video that shows you how you can use the palette on a beginner level, that, you know, if you're not super shadow savvy, you have a couple of strategies to use and not be intimidated by the palette, despite there being 14 colors and all, and different textures and finishes. And to see a black influencer like Jackie, she's probably like the biggest black influencer right now on the beauty platform. To collaborate with a huge brand like ABH is outstanding, and again, a huge congratulations to her. I ended up getting the PR box anyway because this is actually hollow. This is iridescent. It doesn't reflect the full color spectrum of the rainbow like this one does. And I'm getting so technical anyway. So the palette that came in this box I gave to my friend Trisha like a late birthday gift because she needs help with her makeup application and she is deeper skin tone, and I asked her if I could film her and see how shades look on her skin tone, just so you guys have another more ideas on how to use the palette. So stay tuned for that. And I have to give a shout out to the ESUM brushes that were sent to me. So kind of Muse Beauty Pro to send these over. ESUM is Muse Beauty Pro's in-house brand. It's Muse spelled backwards, and they sent me a few of their brushes that I have been really liking. They're not as soft as my Wayne Goss or Sona G brushes, but I use them extensively in my Grand Pro 2 video. I used all of them in that video. I really like the S34. It's like a really big fluffy brush that gets the product on there fast. I love the S33. It's a smaller crease brush that makes for more precise application throughout the crease. And the G27, I love this shader brush. It picks up a lot of product, gets in on the lid fast, and a couple of others here. So if you want to see a more extensive video just showcasing the brushes, what they do, close-up shots and all that, just let me know down below. I'll be more than happy to do that. I want to mention this, even though this was sent to me, I still want to mention it. And I had qualms about it solely. I know people feel uncomfortable if someone presents a product that was sent to them for free as a favorite. I get it. But I still wanted to show the Natasha Denona Coral palette because even though this is $48 and you could get it on sale during this summer bonus event, if you were thinking about getting Sunrise, but you felt despite the great price is $65 for 15 shadows, you can't beat it. It's Natasha Denona and the quality is consistent with her other big pan palettes. If you feel that is overwhelming and you just can't get into the marigolds and the different oranges and whatever tones in there, I feel this is a gorgeous 5-pan palette. The tones are just outrageously beautiful. It's more simplified and it's less intimidating. So I enjoyed this palette thoroughly when I did my 3-look video on it. I will link it up above and down below. Something to consider, but I still wanted to present it. I didn't put it in my Sephora recommendations. It could have been because I forgot, or maybe I was just like, oh my god, there she goes, pushing more Natasha Denona on us. I wanted to mention it as a favor because I actually really love this 5-pan palette. I think the color selection is beautiful, and you could create beautiful looks that are very soft and maybe not as bold as looks that you might create from the Sunrise palette. So I just got this, but I have to show you this freaking blush. I saw this on Nordstrom's website on their new arrivals. This is their Rouge blush, the Power Look Fall 2019, $7.83. Confident. They had a taupey gray that I was so intrigued with, but when I swatched that sucker, I was like, I mean, it could be like a contour shade, but I feel because of the undertone, it will look really muddy on me. And I haven't been contouring much as of late. I've been just doing bronzing. So that would have been just a stupid purchase. So I kept it on the counter. But this shade, I applied it on the high cheekbones today because it packs a punch. And I feel this type of plum shade is best applied higher on the cheekbones because it's very sophisticated. You will look a little clownish if you apply this on the apples of your cheeks. You have to be really careful though, because again, this packs a punch, but it is so beautiful. Like this over the cream blush from the, like if you put this on first and then you put this to, don't even think about it. I know it's just too much. This is limited edition. The design of the compact is exclusive to this fall release. I don't buy luxury makeup often. I know it feels like that in this video, but I could not ignore this shade. It is so, it's just so gorgeous and so fall, and again, sophisticated. I love plum blushes. And when you apply it high on the cheekbones, it just lifts your face and makes you look so fierce. Like, rah. So if you want to check that out, I'll leave the link down below. As you know, I love nail polish. So I have been loving the Holo Taco from Simply Nailogical. I think she is hilarious, and the fact that she is such a huge YouTuber, but still keeps her 9 to 5. I mean, she's a crime statistics analyst. And she manages to maintain her YouTube channel as well as now have her own nail polish company. And she doesn't do closet tours. She doesn't flaunt. She just does her thing. You know what I mean? So I just had to grab these, and I trust that she would have made the best Holo Taco on the market because she is holo obsessed. So this is in scattered Holo Taco. I think this is currently sold out, but definitely get on the newsletter just so you are aware of any restocks that might occur. And the other nail polish brand that I absolutely love is F.U.N Lacquer. This is a multichrome nail polish. It's hard to see in the bottle. This is what I have on my nails right now. It is called Eternal Love. So it shifts from a purple to a blue, and when you put the Holo Taco on top, it is too much to take. I want to get more of the multi-chromes for F.U.N Lacquer. It's just so hard because when you spend $80 on a nail polish, you're like, what are you doing? But I also love their magnetic multichrome, which is the other one that has those crazy shifts in it. You have to use a magnetic device to shift the pigments in the nail polish. I want to get that set as well. I'm trying to hold off because I want to save money and not blow all of it on nail polish. Even though I paint my own nails, so it's like I'm saving in not going to get manicures all the time. But I've just been blown away by F.U.N Lacquer and also Live Love Polish. I love Live Love Polish a lot. And the other Holo Taco top coats that Christine released were the Linear and the Flaky. The Black is Black nail polish and the Royalty Blue are outstanding. I mean, that black nail polish is black. First coat, you don't need two, okay? She wasn't playing with that nail polish. Woo! I'm not sure if I consider this a favorite, but Devacurl was so nice to send it to me that I wanted to present it to you. This is the Devacurl DevaFresh Scalp and Curl Revitalizer. This, I have some product knowledge on here. It is supposed to moisturize, soothe the scalp, and fight odor for 24 hours. You can revitalize without removing the oils your curls need. It doesn't leave behind a residue. It's very fresh. Now, the one thing I would say about this, I do like it. I do. I actually really love the spritz. It's very misty. But I will say though, it's very fragrant. And one day when I was using it, I think it might have been the third day in a row, because usually every day I'll spritz in, whether it be the DevaFresh or the Jane Carter Solution Revitalizing Leave-In. I then go in with my creamy leave-in conditioner. I will say that on the third day, I did start to smell it a lot on my hair because it was layering. I think in a way maybe I don't favor when I apply leave-in conditioners like that. So even though it is marketed to be a revitalizer, I would use this primarily as a curl refresher. Those instances where I find myself in an environment that stinks. I have a lot of hair, okay? It absorbs a lot of smell. If I find myself at a cookout, barbecue, somewhere smoky, and I don't want to wash my hair before I go to bed, I think this will come in quite handy in terms of deodorizing those ugly smells and me not feeling like I'm going to bed with a head full of smoke. So I would use it for that. I might not use this every day, just because I feel the fragrance of it could be a little overwhelming for me, and that's why I would rely on my Jane Carter as an everyday refresher. Quick ingredient call outs here for the DevaFresh. You got water, glycerin, olive oil, glycerin, 8 esters, polysorbate 20, Saccharomyces, black tea ferment. Wow. It has a lot of extracts in here. Of course, it's Devacurl, doesn't have any silicones. People feel really strongly about certain silicones being in their hair products, mainly dimethicone. Great on skin, but it could build up on the hair. So it has great ingredients, and I think it has, because of the black tea and all these extracts, maybe provide some antioxidant benefit. Don't quote me on that. This is just speculation and me just talking out of my butt. But it is lightweight, but I would use this probably on the earlier end of my wash and go, and then change to my Jane Carter towards like the later end, or maybe just wash my hair or do a co-wash more often. I gotta fail. I put her back in the box because I'm returning it. This is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Loose Setting Powder. I was excited to try this because Mel really loved it, but in her defense, what she loves doesn't necessarily mean I'm gonna love it. That's just how it is, and that's how it is with me. What I'm gonna love or even don't like doesn't mean that you're gonna love or hate it. I found that when I applied this powder under my eyes, although I liked the color, I felt that it looked flat and didn't look very radiant. Whereas when I apply my Hourglass, I feel that, where is it? I feel this just provides a softer finish under my eyes. It just looks brighter, it looks smoother. And then I was like, okay, let me apply this all over my face. As of recent, I've been using my sponge, which again, short interlude, I love the Dose of Color sponge. I know it's $15, but I might have to get more. It is so good. A favorite, absolutely, but I know we're in the fails, but I wanted to mention this in the favorite because I forgot. I'm sorry. I use the butt on my Dose of Colors to press in powder. Definitely don't do it with this powder. It just looks so heavy on my skin, and it could have been because I used a Dose of Colors and that foundation dries matte, and it wasn't an ideal step to take with that textured foundation. Now I did apply the Luminous, and I applied this with a brush, and it was much lighter and much better, but my skin just felt, it just looked dull and powdery. I don't know what it is, because when I apply the pat just melts and my skin looks like skin. But when I put this on, I just think is a little heavy. And I don't think worth keeping. Is $36 is a lot of product, but if I don't feel crazy about this powder, it's not worth keeping to me. So I know a lot of people feel strongly about taking product back, that we shouldn't do it and take advantage of the return policy. I have to return it. I bought it because I thought I would really like it, but it's not worth keeping because I like my Milk powder a lot better. I like my Hourglass powder a lot better. I even like Pat's overly priced powder, and those powders will hold me down. Like, I will not run out. So it's not worth me keeping. It's just gonna take up space in my drawer, and it's a waste. I could give it away, but I don't even think it's worth giving away because I don't think it's that good. Anyway, so those are my favorites and fails. I still will do a skincare favorite video. I know it doesn't get as much traction and views, but I just love doing those skincare videos. It's very therapeutic for me. I love talking about skincare, and I wanted to share a couple of my favorites that are not necessarily sold at Sephora, especially during the summer bonus event. I couldn't even suggest a lot for the recommendation video because all of my skincare I've just been getting from different vendors. So definitely keep your eye out for that. I'll have it out soon. Let me know what your favorites have been for the month of August, what you've been liking, what you maybe haven't been liking so much. And until then, friends, that is a wrap. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope this video helped. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. And until then, I'll see you on here again with another multi-look video, review, or favorites list. Take care, and I'll see you again soon.